Good morning. Today is February 24th. It's a Wednesday, and I'm on the way to my house because I'm having an inspection this morning from my structural engineer before any of the helical pier holes get filled in and before any of the wall braces get covered with drywall or anything. The structural engineer has to sign off saying that everything looks good. So if all goes well, which hopefully it does, tomorrow, CBS will come back for a final day to fill in the holes with dirt, pour concrete over the top of things, and get my basement basically back to the way it was when they started, albeit with, all these structural improvements. So, I did do some checking last night, and the pipe that I thought was a drain pipe ended up just being, I don't know, it's just a random pipe underneath my foundation. Maybe that was something when they poured. I don't know, but it's definitely not part of my sewage system. So unfortunately, I will have to go back at some point, jackhammer through the floor again to get a drain over to the place where I want to have a sink for the wet bar on the south wall. But apart from that, everything's good to go. I did ask CBS to install one more wall brace. They had to do an IntelliBrace on the north wall in between the kitchen window and the bathroom window, just because my structural engineer said I'd need one there. I was gonna do it myself, but I have to order the brace, and then the main thing is I have to source the metal, and the kind of metal that I need, I can't get at Home Depot, and I'm definitely paying a little bit more to have CBS do this final IntelliBrace, but it's only one more, and the fact that I didn't have to do helical piers on the entire west wall was a huge savings in my budget. So I pulled the trigger on this final piece. I'll be at the house in a minute, and we'll see how the inspection goes. Well, I made it to the house, and funny enough, the inspection has already passed, so I missed that, but that's totally fine. I do want to show you guys this. Yesterday, they had this little guy on, and it looks like they replaced it today with a full wall brace. Which is great. That's probably going to hold better, but what I really want to show you is this IntelliBrace. So it looks like they had to cut it tight. That must have been a pain. But yeah, I asked them yesterday if they could put this in. As I mentioned, my structural engineer is going to require one more brace here. And yeah, they just knocked it out. Interestingly, anytime you're putting some kind of brace perpendicular to joists, you obviously have to reinforce them. And I've seen them do it a bunch of different ways. In fact, the way that you can see some of this wood up there, I've seen it done that way a little bit. The typical way is you can see this little piece that's holding that pipe up. Typically, it'd be like a full-on 2x8 filling that cavity, but obviously, this cavity is being used massively for all of the HVAC system. And even though I'm redoing the HVAC, I'm still gonna need some space up there. So instead what they did is they just screwed this piece in, which does shorten the ceiling a little bit, but you know what? This is gonna be the laundry-utility room. Not a problem at all. And I'm actually happier with the solution that they came up with, because you can see they've gotten it across a lot more joists, which is awesome. But also, I still have this cavity free for running pipes and such through. So I think that was actually the right solution. So anyways, I'm probably gonna get out of here, let them finish things up. They're gonna fill in the yard first, which you saw outside, because as soon as tonight, we're getting snow again. I mean, we probably had one of the hardest weeks of cold and stuff to do this project in, but it's coming together. So this is probably the final day that we'll see these piles of dirt like this. And you know, tomorrow evening should be all filled in, and all that concrete will be mixed up and in these holes. So yeah, it's a good day at the house. Hopefully my structural engineer has some engineering blueprints for me in the next couple of days so I can get permits filed, and we'll take it from there. Well, I'm just heading home. I did miss the main engineer on the project. His name's Scott, and everything looked great. Inspection passed, no problems. So that's awesome. I ran into the structural engineer for the reframing part of my house as I was on the way out. So we chatted for a minute, and it sounds like the plans will be done in the next week, which is great. I can basically file my permit to Broomfield for everything: electrical, HVAC, plumbing, structural, and just really get rocking and rolling on this project. We were able to talk about a few questions I've had with some of the various parts of the project on the engineering side of things. In particular, putting a door between the laundry room and what's probably going to be the workout room. He said that's going to be no problem. One interesting thing is the concrete footer that divides those two rooms comes up by about 2 or 3 inches, and he said that should be no problem. I can just use a concrete saw and cut that down, so that'll be good. I can have a nice smooth doorway between the two rooms, and yeah, everything's just coming along really nicely. He said there's going to be a review process where he shows me the blueprints. I get to do a final sign off or make any changes, and from there I can literally start doing everything. So I'll obviously start by relocating the stairs, reinforcing everything. I'm probably going to have to put in that supporting wall to relocate the stairs, but it's all going to be in the spec. All the parts, all the materials, the kinds of lumber I need. So I'm really excited. Today was a good day. Again, they're going to fill in the front yard tonight and kind of finish up with the floor tomorrow. So I'll just keep checking in, and things are starting to happen. This has been a good day. So I'll see you guys next time. Alright, so it's February 25th, a Thursday. I'm just about to head to band, but just signed off on everything. CBS just got done, and wanted to give you guys a quick preview of how it all looks now that it's done. This is an exciting day. So starting off over here, just going to show you some of these holes they got filled in. Everything looks great. A detail that I forgot to mention to them, but they did anyways, is you probably can't see very easily, but this concrete is to the level of the cement here, not to the tile, which is perfect because I'm ripping this tile out anyways, so I'll be able to get everything nice and level. Just gonna kind of walk through. I mean, not a lot to see, but check out how much better it is today than yesterday. It's just night and day different. Really excited about this. One detail that I asked them to do is to not fill this in with concrete, because I've got to finish busting out the shower, and you know, it's just going to be easier if I can tackle this one all in one go. I figured I'd bust up that concrete when I jackhammer this thing out anyways. Interestingly, I can see why it's been so hard to get this thing out. It's actual brick in there, brick and concrete, so I don't think I have a big enough sledgehammer. I'm either going to need a bigger sledge or an actual jackhammer. Patch up a tiny little spot there, patched up this spot. Now that everything's, patched up, I can finally take my drain snake to this thing and get it running again. When I get my plans, this area will soon have a door, so I'll cut the concrete down there. And that'll go between the laundry room and the workout room. I'll show you a couple more. I mean, did a nice job with this concrete here. That guy's all filled in. And as you can see, these wall braces are all in place, all 6 of them. I mean, this is a great, great day. So I'm gonna head off to band because we're having a percussion sectional today. And yeah, awesome job, Complete Basement Systems. I honestly can't recommend them enough. This was a huge project and it's gonna enable me to just get cracking on everything else. Catch you later. Good afternoon. I forget the day. It's Saturday, 27th. Anyways, I just got a part from Grizzly. When I was putting the table saw together, I realized that I was short on one brace. I don't know if I lost it and accidentally threw it away or what, but this is a $6 part and it actually goes on the legs here on this extension wing to kind of keep things in square. So I went ahead and ordered one. I'm going to finish setting up the table saw today. This has been a big project, but it's pretty much all done. I just need to tighten a few bolts down, put the measuring sticker on this tube rail, and finish bolting together this this leg and extension piece, just so it's locked in. It's just kind of dry fitted right now. So I'm gonna crack this box open, make sure it's the right part, and put it back together. Ta-da! Cool, so that's good. This is exactly the piece I need. I now have a proper 2 of them, so let's get them on. Alright, so the next step I think is to just secure this with 6 5/8 inch wood screws, which have been included. Before I screw it down, I wanted to check the square, and it's actually pretty good. Last time I was at Home Depot, I picked up an extension from a drill because I knew I'd run into a situation when I would need an extension, and lo and behold, apparently today is that day. All right, that's one leg done, one more to go. Last but not least, this brace gets affixed to this top MDF with a screw and a 3/4 inch washer. Last but not least, tightening it with a screwdriver. Alright, that's going to be good. Alrighty, well, today's a pretty good day. The table saw is all but put together. I still have to install a blade, install electricity so I can actually run the thing, and once I've got a blade on, I need to put down tape. It's like just a sticky roll of measure tape, and obviously that's how I set my fence to width. So I'm actually waiting for it to warm up just a little bit. As you can see, it's like 30 degrees outside. Inside, it's 50 in here. It's not too cold, but I just want that thing to stick well. So I'm gonna hold off on the final touches until I'm actually ready to use the saw. But couldn't be happier. This is gonna be a fantastic saw. It's all set up. As you can see, this fence slides beautifully. I've got this T-track miter so that it's going to pop out, at least on this end. And it's going to be a great saw. I haven't installed the blade guard yet, so I guess I should put that on and the riding knife. But otherwise, this Gridley GRLX 1023 or G1023 RLX, whatever, it's ready to go. One thing I want to show you before I cut this clip off is this bear crawl system. Yeah, it's on wheels, which is great, but it is still a hefty piece of equipment to move. Feels like one of these are just rubbing just a smidge. So I think one of the tricks when I'm moving this thing or getting it set in place is going to be figuring out how to, there's the one. Yeah, just figuring out how to get these feet so that I can move it around easier. So there we go. Obviously, when you get it in place, you want the thing to be level, but when you're moving it, all the feet need to be up. So I'm gonna have to play with that relationship of down versus up so that when they're up, they have enough clearance to roll around, and when they're down, the whole saw is level. So, and honestly, I'm hoping to kind of leave it in place. The wheels are really just so that I can move it if I need to. But essentially, I think the table saw is gonna be rotated 90 degrees and it'll replace this area. I'll have kind of a walkway here, but you know, I'll want a good intake and out feed space, so that's why the saw is going to be in the middle. But let's roll it and see how it goes. There we go. I mean, this is 500 pounds of table saw, and you know, it's like rolling a piano. If you've ever moved a piano, they're heavy, kind of good if you have two people, but look at this, like, it's on wheels. This is going to be beautiful. So I think that's all I'm going to do with the table saw for today. I'm going to make a trip to Home Depot, get like a long masonry drill bit, and my dad's let me borrow his impact drill. So I'm going to take you guys downstairs next to the shower. CBS has ripped half of it out because that's where one of the helical piers had to go. And I told him, don't fill that in because I'm going to knock the rest of the shower out today. Probably get myself a good sledgehammer too, just to break up some of that concrete. And then the shower will be out. So I'm going to be working on small projects throughout the next couple of weeks. I did finally get my engineering blueprints yesterday. They're just a proof set so I can make sure everything looks good. Once I get an engineering stamp, hopefully this week, I'm going to be ready to submit my permit to the city of Broomfield so I can actually start making the real changes in this home, including relocating the staircase, which will require the installation of some new load-bearing metal posts and some new concrete footers in the basement, which can also use that masonry drill for, and as well as just everything else, you know, resupporting the roof, the skylight project, you know, rearranging those purlin braces, installing you know, load-bearing beams. A few of the roof joists need to be sistered with heavier load-bearing timber for that skylight area. So there's just a bunch of various pieces of lumber I'm gonna have to buy. I'm probably gonna just do a full sheet, go to Home Depot, rent a truck for, you know, it's like 50 bucks or something. Just get a ton of 2x4s for framing the inside of the walls, everything. And fun fact, for those of you who are doing this kind of project yourself, you're gonna need a permit from the city. And in the city of Broomfield, the way it works is basically your permit pays for itself by giving you a use tax discount at the time of purchase. So essentially, I pay, let's just call it, I don't know, $800 for my permit, which is calculated based on the cost of materials I'll be purchasing, as well as a couple other administrative fees. And then when I go to Home Depot or wherever to buy my materials, I show them my building permit. They give me a tax discount, which equals more or less the price of the permit. So it's kind of a pain, but you know, I'd rather do things right. So that's how all that works out. If you guys are interested in doing it, I'd recommend calling your local building and planning office. They will be happy to walk you through things because they'd rather you do it right the first time than making their inspector keep coming out to your house, which you do pay for, but it's their time as well. So, quick Home Depot trip. I've got a list of a few things, but man, we've got a table saw. This is a great day, and I can't wait to actually get some electricity in here, which will also happen in a couple weeks once I get that permit. Get some 220 electricity in here, so I can just really start having fun in the shop, get some things built out, get some of this stuff moved out of here, I think, make myself some room, and we'll be rocking and rolling before you know it. So I'll catch you when I'm back from Home Depot. Good afternoon, good evening, I don't know. It's getting later in the day. I just made an interesting discovery. So I was gonna go to Home Depot to get some tools to take out this tile, because the last time I tried, man, I couldn't make any progress. It was really in here. And I noticed when CBS was in here, some of this came off really cleanly, and honestly, it's been chipping out super easy. So I think the hard part was just getting started. I'm gonna see if I can get this out without even having to get any tools. I think it's just gonna pop right out. Check this out. Look at that, that's awesome. That's gonna save me a lot of work. Just gonna pop it into some smaller pieces. Easy peasy. Look at that. As my cousin Phil Gotts would say, that's a result. Alright, final bit of cleanup around this drain. Picking up a few pieces of tile and we're out of here. I'll come back with a vacuum at a later point and kind of really finalize this. But dang, what a result. Like, I'm so glad this was so easy to come out. I honestly can't believe it. So, yay, hopefully this is a good omen and everything else on the project keeps going this easy.